Hi, my name is Jacqueline Rose, and I do not think it's a coincidence that you're here. I think you're meant to be here. So if this message resonates with you, click like and subscribe to my channel. This channel is about the spiritual awakening process, the ascension process, self-help, self-love, and self-awareness. My intentions here are always pure. I am just sharing my life and tips and techniques that I've applied to my life in hopes that somebody sees this and grabs something from it and applies it to their life and makes it better. Today I'm going to share the story about Bob Marley. I have talked about Bob Marley on my channel a lot, and I just kind of the other day went over it in my head and how he resonates with me so much and how his music continues to affect other people. And if you don't know, like, music and dancing is huge for me. I was never like a professional drill team or anything like that. I was in cheerleading, so I love dancing, I love music. It has always spoke to me ever since I was a child. I used to want to be a singer, I used to want to be Madonna. But little girl didn't. But okay, so I wanted to share the story. So when I was working at a salon called Brad's Salon and Spa, shout out to them. When I was 25, I was engaged. A customer came in and told me about his trip to Jamaica and going to Sandals Resort, because I was kind of looking for somewhere to go for my honeymoon. And so I got home and I looked it up and it was a good deal. And so we booked the trip and we went there, and the culture there just spoke to me. Like, they had so much pride for Bob Marley in that culture. I just, like, something about it overwhelmed me, and I was like, I really like this place. I just, something spoke to me. So when I got back from the trip, I forget why, but I was at my mom's house with my brother, and I don't know, it was like a bad day, and I was like, oh man, I heard about this movie, I Am Legend, let's go see it. Which really wasn't the greatest movie to go see when you're kind of depressed because it was scary, but I had no clue. But I remember in this movie, like, it really, really stands out for me. And I'm going to put the link below because I found it on YouTube, the clip talking about Bob Marley. And it was Will Smith talking to this lady, and she didn't know who Bob Marley was. She only knew who Damian Marley was. And I love Damian Marley too. And it was a clip about him saying that Bob Marley wanted to change racism and love with his music. And I remember, like that's the main thing that stood out for me to that movie. I was like, huh, I had just gone to Jamaica, and I love that. I love that he was trying to change the world with his music. And after that, I started, going to Jamaica and then seeing that clip in the movie. I started looking up things about Bob Marley and wanting to know more about his history. And of course, there was a documentary on Netflix. I don't know if it was then or when I watched it, but I remember watching this like 2-hour documentary on Bob Marley, and it was everything about his life. Like, I didn't know Bob Marley was half white and half black. I didn't know, like, the background culture. I didn't know how many kids he has. He has a lot of motherfucking kids, by the way. And it just got into the culture of his music and his intentions behind his music. And I just began to get this love for him and understanding what he was about and understanding his life. And I have spoken on here, and if you go back in some of my older videos, I'll put a link below too. I have a video of my son around 3 years old, and he was singing Three Little Birds. Now, Three Little Birds is a huge song for me. I've talked about it in other videos. That was one of the first songs that I taught my son to sing. And when he was a baby, I literally, like, broke a CD player. This is dating me, a CD player. I got a lullaby CD of all of Bob Marley's songs, and when Jackson was asleep at night, I broke the CD player because I would play it on repeat for him. And there was no intentions behind this. Like, it was just like, I love Bob Marley. I think he has good music. I'm gonna play this song for him. I taught this song to my son. I loved his music. I loved the way that it spoke to me. And there were lots of moments in my life where this song would come on, Three Little Birds, and it would do something for me. And I've also talked in previous videos of my best friend in the last year telling me he got the settlement. And whenever he was listening to UGK, so it was like a rap station. It like stopped in the middle. It was right before he got his settlement for his accident. It stopped in the middle of a rap song and it started singing Three Little Birds. And in the moment, he told me, and I was like, oh my God, like that's such a huge song. And he was like, I don't get it. It didn't make me think of you. And I was like, no, you're not understanding. Like, it's not about you connecting to me. It's about what this song means to me and that you're my best friend. And it's a huge song for me. And it always comes on in times of need for me. And now you're mentioning that song to me and it connects me to you. And, you know, you really have to pick up on these little signs that the universe is giving you. And so I've told that story. And then recently I've listened to like a lot of stuff about Bob Marley and how he wanted to change the consciousness. That's what he wanted in his music, was he wanted it to, you know, open people's eyes, and he wanted people to be conscious and enlightened because of it. And it was just like, I've been listening to these songs all wrong. Like I've been jamming to the song One Love, One Heart, and I've had a video on this, but now I really understand what all of these songs mean. Even there's a song by Corinne Bailey Rae, and I've mentioned it in other videos, that the very first line of the song, it says three little birds sitting on my doorstep saying everything's going to be all right. And not until this year did I ever hear those lines. And that song was actually on a CD that I made for favors for my wedding. I believe that was, yeah, because I remember I had 3 bridesmaids, so it made me think of the 3 bridesmaids like sitting, like I didn't reference like the Bob Marley to Corinne Bailey Rae until this year, but that song was huge. And then it had the actual Bob Marley song in it, or had the Three Little Birds song in it. So it was just like all these connections. We don't notice the connections of things. And now I sit back and I look at the connections and I look at the signs. And I see how like this one man was trying to change the world with his music, and how beautiful that is. And I just thought I wanted to share that story, you know, and it also is about like picking up on signs, picking up on connections. He or I unintentionally connected to this man and connected to his voice. And I listen to the songs now and I see how he was trying to change the world. I think music, and are big time now because music speaks to me in ways it never spoke to me before. But I think unconsciously people are getting these messages through music. And when you start listening to the words and you start really, really understanding what they mean, or what they could be putting, like we have this subconscious and this conscious brain. And consciously you don't understand, but subconsciously these messages go into your head. So you have to be careful about the vibrational state of the music that you're listening to. And I learn a lot about the vibrational state of everything, food, music, entertainment, because I am very, very cautious about what my brain takes in. And so Bob Marley like really resonates at a high, you know, vibration. And I love that his message was to spread peace and love and joy and understanding. And he's dead and he's still doing it. He's still doing it for generations to come. And I just thought it was a sweet story. And I just thought like maybe you can pull out and see from what I'm saying as like we can spread joy and love unconsciously and consciously. And my job, my passion is to do it consciously. And maybe people unconsciously will pick up on these things. That's why I always say I want to change the world one person at a time, starting with my loved ones and anybody that I can affect. But yeah, take inventory of your life and look back of the things that you listen to, or the movies that you watch, or the people that you are inspired by, and see if like, hey, did it ever like put a little seed in your head? I'm all about planting seeds. And so I just want everybody to go out there and plant seeds like Bob Marley did. Maybe you can do it on a huge scale with your music and your art, because I am meeting so many talented people out there. They're amazingly talented. And your music and your art and your voice and your leadership and your hug and your shoulder to cry on is going to change the world. And this is how we do it. Hopefully you get something from this. Holler for a motherfucking dollar. Peace.